African Association of Exhibition Organisers has shed light on the importance of sustainability measures and policies for events across the African continent. Now, they say events have a significant economic impact on local, regional and national economies and are crucial contributors to economic growth and job creation across the globe. To unpack this, I'm joined by Devi Paulsen-Abbott from the African Association of Exhibition Organisers. A very good morning, Devi. Welcome to the show. How is our carbon footprint looking at the moment, would you say?
Well, look, a lot of what we have in terms of where we're at is very anecdotal. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of research into where we are at the moment, but that is changing. We do know that we are significant contributors to the footprint, given the amount of travel specifically that many of our visitors and exhibitors have to undergo when they attend shows. So we are on a journey now to try and right this and offset wherever we can.
And for the exhibitors that you are showcasing, what sort of measures would they have had to go through in order to find themselves, on the bill for this exhibition?
So there are a couple of things to consider. Globally, we are seeing there's a big upsurge in environmental, social, and governance programs. So those are our customers, the corporate companies who are having to undergo or who are rolling out these programs. So they're making us accountable as a supplier, as an event organizer, which we are very, very happy to do. And they are having to make sure that any kind of event that they're going to be participating in is actually going to be in line with some of their corporate programs and policies.
And for attendees, what are they likely to experience, Devi?
Well, I think there's a lot of initiatives that organizers and suppliers are undertaking at the moment. We see it as high, medium, and low impact things that we can do. And even the smallest thing can make quite a big difference. So there's a big focus on reuse, recycle, wherever possible. We encourage attendees to bring reusable items such as water bottles to events rather than utilizing one single-use items like plastic water bottles. Our venues are doing some great things in terms of energy efficiency and in terms of water conservation. So we're seeing a lot more focus around the use of LED lighting, much more efficient audiovisual equipment. And then, of course, also around the water conservation, where low-flow toilet flushing is in place, and taps as well, reuse of water wherever possible. And also, I think there's a decline on handouts. So in the past, there'd be lots of paper being utilized at events, especially B2B exhibitions. We're moving more into the use of technology, which is quite exciting. So I think it is around just being a lot more considered in terms of how we host events and how we attend events.
And obviously, Devi, there's been a lot of change in as far as how we as consumers attend events. Since COVID, a lot of things have changed. I imagine this industry in itself stands to make quite a significant amount of money over the coming years. Are you seeing a huge increase in terms of numbers of people who are coming back to attend these exhibitions? What have you found?
So it's quite interesting. We forget that only in March last year as a country we opened, so never mind an industry. So last year, 2022, and for most of 2023, it's been a recovery year for our industry. We see that probably towards the end of 2023, going into 2024, being more of a normalizing year. We're optimistic that we're going to see kind of pre-COVID numbers, whether that's revenue or attendance, we're getting back to that normality towards the end of this year. But, there are still a lot of challenges. There were lots of casualties thanks to COVID, both from an organizer perspective and then, of course, from a supply perspective. We also lost a lot of people, so a lot of very good talent left the industry. So there's a lot of rebuild that we are undergoing at the moment. And this is a universal issue and not just a South African issue. I think also with that, we still have some very, very South African unique challenges that we are trying to navigate. A big part of our participation at specifically B2B exhibitions and events does rely on international support. So a lot of international companies and international visitors and attendees wanting to attend our conferences and exhibitions. Many wanting to do trade in Africa, specifically around the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, and of course in South Africa. South Africa is very well positioned to be the springboard into the rest of the continent. But we still face issues like visas, making it much simpler for internationals coming into this country through the visa process. We are seeing small green shoots. Recently, the Kenyans was a visa waiver program for Kenyans wanting to come in, but that's still there's still a long way to go. So we need to make it much simpler and much more attractive for internationals coming into the country. And then, of course, there are a lot of international event organizers who are wanting to set up shop in South Africa, and that process is very, very difficult. So, yeah, we have as AXA a big plea to our stakeholders at Department of Home Affairs and Department of Trade and Industry to let's make it easy for internationals to invest here, and let's do this in the spirit of wanting to create jobs.
And let's just unpack on that last point, Devi. I mean, are you seeing a lot of interest, inquiries, if you will, from foreign investors, call it international business community, who are wanting to explore opportunities within South Africa, within the continent at large as well?
Absolutely. We know that Africa is the last frontier, and there's so much potential. And the African population is going to double in our lifetime. So the opportunities are boundless. So it's actually eternal in terms of the opportunities that we're seeing here. And we are getting, as our members are seeing a lot more interest from the international community wanting to bring in services, products, trade, and then, as I said, have South Africa as a springboard into the rest of the continent. But we have to make it simpler. We have to make it easier because currently it is quite prohibitive.
Devi, thank you so much for your time. Devi Paulsen-Abbott there from the African Association of Exhibition Organisers.